Just another day, just another road that leads where no one ever thinks they might be. Nothing to say, nothing you can believe in, nothing ever will be quite the same. No one can see what you're feeling inside. No one can tell you what for. Forever lost in a moment.
There we go.
There you go. They can hear us, you know.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Welcome in, everybody.
Hello, Blue. Hello.
There, look, it's getting more professional. Can you see? Like, I was able to fade that out. I have, all right, there's that guy. We have, welcome, Tim.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Tim Swann, everybody.
I just got my makeup done.
Right? Somebody last night that is going to be a guest coming up who, the wonderful Nancy Minton, I think I say it wrong, but
Is
she
that
goes by
the-
Bionic Nana.
Yes, yes.
And she's
I love her, dude. She's always like commenting and
delightful human being.
helping people.
Absolutely delightful human being.
Bionic Nana. We
Right.
love you.
And she's good. She's the guest next week. And there was somebody, Rick Wales was a guest a couple of months ago. And we
Can't
were
stand that guy, actually.
he was sitting at the table, and we were at Aaron Kelly's open mic, and Nancy goes, "What time do I need to be there?" And I said, "Well, you got to be there by 2 in order for makeup, and then the hair people, and then
Yeah.
you have to. I'll send a car. There's a town car coming."
The
and
hair
she's
people had an easy day
and
today.
and she's looking at me, and she looks over at Rick, and she goes, "Really?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, it's crazy. You wouldn't even believe it." And she's like, for a second, she's believing it. I go, we're kidding, Nancy. Guys, we're kidding. Can you think you can make it by 6:15? She's like, "Oh yeah, because at 2 I still have to be at work." It's okay. Don't worry, Nancy.
Call in. COVID. That's a COVID day right there.
It's okay. No worries. So, but yes, things are improving. Well, this is
Yeah, he got me. No.
check this out, everybody.
What's
Watch. So here,
You're going to eject me?
when
What is that button?
when Tim is singing and playing, look, you're over there. Look,
A
smile.
good sign.
Give him the smile. Give him the $1 million smile. and then when Tim is playing, I have to do this.
I'm going to do this, actually.
Right, and then this is both of us. Right. Then we also have. Oh wait, I don't even have it done right. So like, it's me. I do this.
So, in the kindest way, get it together, sir.
Trying. It's
No, it's really cool, actually. The
I-
fact that you're able to do all this.
I'm
on the
starting.
fly.
But what was funny is like my son, when he was really small, had like a little podcast thing that he did. Little, I said little, but like he's 15 in another week, and he's my youngest or whatever. And I was talking about trying to organize some of this stuff, and I struggle with some of it. And he's like, "Oh, I know how to do that from when I used to do whatever gaming podcast thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Stitch or Switch or whatever.
Whatever. I don't know what he did."
Yeah, I'm such a boomer right now.
And he goes, "I remember how to do that." I went, "Well, could you come out there and help me?" And so today he came out, and I'm like, "Can you make a couple of scenes?" I finally got this stuff working and together, and I have the sound together, and I have multiple cameras, and I'm trying to get these cables done, and I don't think I'll get it all done today. Maybe you can help me with that. I said it would take me like hours to get all those scenes situated. And he comes out here like, again, he's just finished school. He's a teenager. Whenever he rolled out of bed, 11 or whatever.
Solid, yeah.
Which, awesome. Right on. Good for you. And then he sits down, and he's out here, and it's like 10 minutes. He's like, "All right, is something else you want me to do?" And I'm like, "Well, you're done? Like, you did that already?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so." Like, I don't know. What,
I think so.
Yeah, he's like, "This is what you wanted, right?" I'm like,
With the 15-year-old shrug,
yeah,
right?
can you copy that and put names? So like my name and then the guest, and then I can change it every week. And he's
Oh,
like,
that's amazing.
and
So
he's-
they see that? Michael
So
Marsden
this
host.
right now, this is what the audience is seeing.
Okay,
so like,
okay.
Right now, audience, Tim's looking at what I'm looking at. So like, there's multiple screens, but one of the screens is what you all see.
Right.
And so now, like, when I transition this, now this is what the audience sees, and I look at this camera and I go, "Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming." And then that's your camera over there is the guest camera, but then I have to do this. And then transition to your camera. there you are. See, but I could, if I was a little better set up, I would have zoomed that in. But for me to get up and
is that a weight joke? Like you're making weight jokes already?
No,
I'm working on it, sir.
I don't think you need to worry about any of that. You just be you. So anyhow, so
yeah,
you and I met through a mutual friend, Chris Orba.
Yes.
Actually, which we didn't even know it, because then I showed up at your open mic like 2 weeks later. Like you, the first gig, Chris suggested to you. I know this guy. You were double booked, or there was a gig you needed to pass off, and you contacted me through Chris.
Yes.
You had forgotten about this. Right?
Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I showed up at your open mic like a week later, not knowing that it was you and you were the same person. And then after talking for a minute, you were like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, I saw your card.
And you're like, "Are you?" And we both went. Our heads exploded at the same time.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Because we figured out that it was a mutual friend, not acquaintance, friend. And
Acquaintance.
Right. No. And yeah, so but that was great. And then I was lucky enough to play with you for a little while, and I know that your band's going really well, and you guys play an awful lot, and a lot of success coming your way.
I hope.
I think so.
Who knows?
It looks like it from where I'm sitting.
It's
it looks
all
like
Photoshop
great things
and AI though. Like there's a lot of that.
That's part of it though. But sincerely, it looks like you are making good decisions and good things are happening for you. It appears as though you're making good decisions and good things are happening for you. Are you excited with what you see coming?
I am. Yeah, I think I am. I was always so as soon as I started doing this, I was always really slow to speak on any sort of plan, everything, and we might dive into this a little bit later, but everything happened pretty organically and slowly and without really any intention. Speaking of Chris, I played with him yesterday. He left his iPad at the place. Are you going to see him really soon or no?
I won't.
Okay, never mind. I was going to leave his iPad here. I brought it.
Oh, you could leave it here if you want, but I'll just keep it then.
No,
he's probably going to need it.
I started downloading apps on it.
No.
But no, I think I'm playing with them in like a week or 2 weeks or something like that.
I think you'll see him before me.
Okay. Anyways, what else? Sorry.
That's okay.
I have ADD.
As do I. I've recently learned that I didn't. My therapist said, although I wasn't necessarily diagnosed, but what she explained was, I think you have ADD, but I think that your obsession with being on time to places keeps you on track more than many people.
Sure.
And I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I think those things are all accurate. But okay, so in my obsession with making sure things are the way they are, I have this giant board up here. See, look, I lost track. They've been looking at you the whole time.
Oh, hello everyone.
That's right. That's okay. This is where you need a producer. So like, there, that's better.
Yeah.
They might just want to look at you. They're pretty tired of looking at me, I think. So, so we met there, and then if you had to choose one type of food to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Kale. No.
I was gonna.
When you say type, what do you mean?
Well, I don't know. I was just randomly suggesting a weird question. I often choose a weird question, like what's your favorite ice cream, what's your favorite color. So I try to think of something different because when Dan
Collis?
Yeah, when he got here, he knew all the questions. So I had a different one prepared because I knew he knew all the questions.
Oh, really?
He had answers prepared for all of them. I'm like,
So it's gonna sound dumb. I would actually say
desert island. If you were stuck on a desert island, but they were going to leave you there, but they would leave you with one thing that you could eat for the rest of your life. What do you think you would choose?
Probably like a grilled chicken salad, like because I mean it has a ton of vegetables in it. It has your lean protein and things like that. And because I don't eat chicken salad, but like if I had to eat pasta all the time or pizza all the time or even just a salad all the time, like it would be so ridiculous. It would be so gross. But probably that or like sherbet.
Well, there's you being logical and then throwing logic out the window. I like that. That's a good thing. So. So let's see. We covered that. What do you have a song for us? Like as far as songwriting, this show is the Songwriters Lounge. So do you feel loungy? I don't really have. If it was a lounge, maybe we should get recliners. I don't know. That makes it hard though.
I don't.
You don't have any songs? You came with no songs?
The
guitar's just.
I thought it was no. I thought I was gonna play along. But you play some of your songs. Yeah,
You lie.
I have
You have like 500 original songs.
Almost. No. Yeah. So I kind of went through and I have a lot of like folksy and kind of fun or country or whimsical whatever songs.
Well, let me ask you this: How old were you when you started writing music?
Writing music for myself.
Yeah. Songs for yourself. Songs in the vein of what we're doing here, like something that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, everybody.
Son of a gun.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I can't.
No, but songs.
Let's bring it a little bit.
Songs in the vein of what you're doing here, like songs that songwriting, not for. I don't know. Were you writing songs for money before or something?
No, I did a lot of.
That was a joke.
Not for money. No, I did a lot.
That was another joke.
I think July, August 2023 is when I started writing.
Really?
Somewhere on there.
That recently?
Maybe April, somewhere in there, yeah. Because I had written a handful of songs, maybe, I don't know, a dozen or more over the years, but they were all within the context of, I was raised very religious, like super conservative. We didn't really listen to any secular music. And so it's funny, people come up in shows and be like, hey, can you just, I'm like, is that an artist or a song? And they're like, you're a country guy and you don't know who that is? And I'm like, well, I don't. So I just climbed out of a hole a little while ago.
Right. I have a very good friend whose childhood. I've never asked you too many questions about this because I have a reasonable understanding of some of the things you've described. So
Sure.
Like you know what I mean? Like I understand.
Yeah, like I could do Stephen Curtis Chapman all day. Like, but so I wrote a few songs, but it was always within the context of worship and that. And so when I first started kind of writing, I think it was about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
So it wasn't like you just started playing music 2 years ago,
right?
Or even writing at all. You just your brain changed its perspective with regard to your approach.
Right. Yes. And I think I've always had kind of an interesting mind as far as the way that I process things and the way that I see things. And a lot of times when I was involved heavily in church, they would kind of use that for ministry. So I could take this subject and kind of weave them together and kind of build metaphors and build these stories and things like that and kind of compel, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was always part of that. Like I guess I've always had kind of a slightly artistic brain, mm-hmm. right? And and then just dive right in, right? When my father passed away, June of 2022. June 2022. Immediately, I had already been really kind of distancing myself from a lot of the culture that I was raised around, but I came face to face with the fact that every video that I had of him, every photo I had of him, they were so much more important because it was a limited thing.
Right.
And I, like, upon more reflection and more kind of diving, I realized too that I have this gift, whatever it is, and if I get in a car accident or whatever, like, I think an amazing thing would be to, like, have these ideas and thoughts in the way that I see my children, the way that I see the world, and to kind of paint a picture and have that somewhere for them, you know? And so, like, I've just kind of been following that thread as much as I can. And so a lot of the songs that I do and write, and even the songs that I cover, typically, I mean, there are some where they just want to have fun, right? But Landslide by Fleetwood Mac and Father Son by Stephen Wilson Jr., like, almost every show I do those songs because they mean something, you know, and there's and I think that music is so powerful in that way. You're able to kind of change. You know what? I was going to do this a little bit later, but I want you to read this. I just had this thought on the way over here. Okay. Okay. And so,
like, read it out loud or just read it?
No, just read it to yourself.
All right.
I know you struggle with that, so, like, I don't want to embarrass you in front of everybody. All right, so that by itself is one thing, right? Hearing someone say it would be different. But so this is a simple chord progression that I applied to another song that it has emotion behind it, and so but when you hear somebody say something like, I started drinking again. First time since I don't know when. And I know it doesn't change anything. And I know that it always changes me. I don't think that I have a choice anymore. Like, it's so much bigger when you just add that thing. Right. The melody, the thing, like, you're compelling. And so, so I noticed that when I was so heavily involved in worship, that's a tool that's really used to, like, people believe things more when you have that soundtrack behind it. It's why it's part of movies everywhere, and things like that. And so that's kind of the story, like, behind, like, what these songs are. And to be honest, I'm very terrified of doing these songs because, like, both of these songs I wrote like a year ago, and I just haven't touched them just because, like, if I think about what I'm doing or who these songs are for, it kind of rips something. But at the same time, like, I feel like that's where music
that's
really
where
makes
it's the best.
It makes us human.
Those are the places where you're touching the thing that makes the best connection. And I think that, as scary as it is, this is what I've noticed in I spent better than 20 years or 15 years barely getting outside of the world, the few people that I knew, and the occasional gig and the occasional, you know, trying but never being able to. And then finally, the circumstances have allowed me to make new connections and meet new people, and finally focus on the music that I've written and play, and just sort of not worry about any of the rest of it. I just play the things that I like to play, and ironically, it's the thing where I've really gotten a reaction for the first time. And then I begin to talk to people who seem to think that I have some sort of confidence, like, on some level, and then I'm like, no, I'm terrified.
Right.
And then the thing that I've noticed is even the people that I think have confidence, no, I'm like, there's these moments where they're struggling to play this thing, or they're afraid to play. I've been afraid to play this song, like, or afraid might not be the right word, but reluctant to play this song for a long time because it didn't, for one reason or another. But when they do, those are the ones. So just, and especially among the people here, you know, these are the people that are most willing, if they're here it's somebody that's interested in songwriting for the art of songwriting. So I think that this is the best place to try stuff like that, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Friends, or somebody who may be hearing you for the first time, but they're here for that reason. So.
Friends and Blue.
Blue is one of our friends. He's one of our best friends. Everyone loves Blue. Come on.
Yeah, he's fine. No, I do like Blue. He's probably one of the wittiest people that I've come across. He's great. Love you, Blue. So this one was, I hope this song works because there's a whole, like a 8-page dissertation on before we start the song.
You just set it on a pedestal.
There was a CGI thing of what would happen if the sun exploded. And it was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was just like...
It seems like, I don't know, the answer would just it'd be bad.
Well, it didn't work out well for the person holding the camera.
I don't think it'd be good for any of us.
But it really got my mind thinking, like, what would happen if we... And there was a movie about that. Anyway, I won't go there. If you knew, like, there was just one day, everything's done, right? We have enough technology where we're like, hey, the sun's getting ready to explode. Everyone's gone,
that's it.
Right? So, like, what's your move? And so, not rhetorically, what would your move be? Like, if you had 24 hours or, 20 minutes or whatever.
Just try to get to the people that I love, that they mattered.
Right.
That's what mattered.
Yeah.
Because really, in the end, that's all that matters is the people that you love, the people that hold space in your heart, and
the song title.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The people that matter is all that matters, and the rest of it.
Right.
Like it has space, but there's validity to it, but it comes after all that.
Right. So mine, especially because my kids are younger, the only move that makes sense. I'm driving home. I'm holding them close. I'm trying to make them feel safe, even though I know, like, probably not. Right. So this is called "What Matters to Me," and I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm highly emotional. And I'm not going to apologize for that. I don't care.
I'm not laughing at the emotion. I'm laughing at you already apologizing for it.
I'm apologizing because, like, if it makes the song sound not great. Like, but as far as me, getting choked up in front of people, like, I've come to grips with, like, I'm okay with that.
As you should.
I'm here. So
it's already scrolling. I would just start.
No, I'll just restart it. I'll just use the entire rest of the show is just us building up to this song, and we just cut to credits like they never hear it. Let's go this here. If tomorrow was forever gone, we'd seen the very last dawn, and the sky's caving in, and everything's fading away. Where do you go? Where are you free? And take it all from my hands. I don't need anything. It's only sand they can keep. Everything, 'cause you are what matters to me. And take it all from my hands. I don't need it. Everything, it's only sand, they can keep it. It's nothing, 'cause you are what matters to me. Now it's not scrolling fast enough. There we go. If the sun pulls too far away, if the moon somehow lost its place and fell from the sky, and everything is all over soon, what do you do? And what do you need? Take it all from my hands. I don't need anything. It's only sand they can keep. Everything, 'cause you are what matters to me. Take it all from my hands. I don't need anything, it's only sand, they can keep it. Everything, you are what matters to me. Everything, 'cause you are what matters to me. Everything, 'cause you
Very nice, man.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Didn't even cry. Suckers. Thank you, Dan.
What'd he say?
Lots of things. I'll wipe your tears. Nothing sexier than a man in touch with his emotions.
See, you got it. You got it right. You got it where you can see it. I finally got it where I figured out the problem that I was having, and there was a setting, and so
Were
now
you
I can
in?
see it.
Oh,
That's even better. But now I can see it, but it's too far away. I can't read it. I
Yeah,
can see that
yeah.
it's happening, and I can see that there's things going on, but I can't actually read it. So that's wonderful. One step at a time. I
Yeah.
keep making improvements, but there's always another issue. So that was outstanding and beautiful.
thank you.
And
I still like.
at the very last second, here, look, while you were playing, at the very last second, I was able to switch from the one to the one that had your name on it.
Oh,
It was very professional for a very split second.
Yeah.
So I felt
Hello,
I was very
everybody.
proud of myself.
You should. You know what you should do? You should give yourself a raise. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to double my salary.
Nah, nice.
Right?
Like it.
Right, twice as much. Twice as much is still not. Okay, wait, never mind. So let's see. That brings us to album side of the week.
Okay.
So album side of the week this week was I played a couple of weeks ago at Black Dog Vinyl, and I'm playing there again. As part of the 2 weeks ago, it was Demi Clara has a monthly showcase. I believe it's the third Thursday of every month at Black Dog Vinyl.
I've never met her. I love her voice though.
Delightful human
Man.
being, as kind and supportive a person as you'll ever meet.
It's not what I heard, but like I like the way she sounds. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. I can't turn it
She's
off.
so sweet. She would be like,
Who- did somebody say something?
Why did he say no?
No, I'm just
a
teasing
joke.
Demi.
But and she has amazing songwriters, and it was a pleasure to play there. And then I'm playing there again. Mike Reese, Mr. Reese. I have to get it right. I don't have it right. But he called me up and invited me to play at his.
Very cool.
We've only met a couple times, and I'm super excited. So I'm playing there again in June.
Are you plugging your shows on my podcast day? Like,
Yeah,
this is- okay.
I am. There'll be a point where you can,
No, I'm
but
good.
I say that because I want to make sure that I'm not biased, because then I've bought a couple records there, but recently I bought a few records at Crooked Arm as well. So I like both of those record stores, and I got this one at Crooked Arm, which I didn't even know really existed. It's this series of Fish records. Now, I'm not like a big Fish head. I like the band, and I know a few people who are devoted and have been to zillions of shows, and I like a few of their songs. I've heard a bunch of their records and studio stuff. This is a series of records, apparently, because there was like 4 or 5 different ones, and they're all numbered. Each side is one song.
Good Lord. How long are these songs?
Well, they're an album side. They're live takes of songs that are like, 15 minutes long.
Solid.
15, 16 minutes or whatever.
The
And this
Braveheart.
particular record is it's a side A is from Nassau Coliseum, and it is now my pick was side B, which was Stash, because that's a song that I actually like, and it's purple writing on black is hard to read. 19 minutes 55 seconds. That weighs in. That's side B. Side A was also Twist, and they're from 2 different locations. They're just live recordings, and that's what they did, is they went through all this live stuff from different years completely.
Yeah.
And they picked like a great version of the song and a great version of that song, and they put one on each side of a record, and they put them out, and they
That's
put
cool.
out like I think 25 records.
Really? So this is number 5 of 25.
Right, but it's the only one I have. But I thought it was a great, and I think it's a great record. I know that song well, and I listened to it a couple times, and both sides are good. But side B is my choice, and that's the album side of the week this week, from Crooked Arm this week. But
Yeah.
I'm not partial. not partial, because I like Black Dog, and half of the records up on that stack up there are from both places. So I suggest you that's one that I don't think you can put in a playlist, because usually what I say is if you don't have a record player, take these songs and put them in a playlist and just play them. I don't even think you can get that one unless it's on a record. And
Really?
That's pretty cool.
The song?
I don't think that version. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not positive of that. So anyways, I was going to, the song that I picked is, I have a bunch of songs. The songs that I've been playing lately out are songs mostly, with the exception of a couple, are mostly songs that I've written most recently.
Okay.
And I started tinkering around with some of the things that I wrote a long time ago. And there was a song that I wrote. I put out this demo. It was only supposed to be a demo in 1998, and then I was supposed to gather some funds and then make a record, like a full-length LP, add 3 or 4 more songs and make this record. And then in 11 months we played something like 54 shows with this group of dudes, and it was just crazy. So not unlike somebody I know in this room who's working really hard and getting a ton of shows and playing crazy, doing crazy hard work.
I'm gonna sleep for 3 days right after this interview.
And I was just out of my mind at that point in my life, and had little kids, and it was an interesting point in my life, and it ended up the record never got made, and the demo just ended up being an EP that still exists. And I never played this song because the version that exists on the EP, personally to me, my own voice sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard. I can't listen to it without being like, I wish it didn't exist, but I've learned to just accept that that's the way it is. And I for years wouldn't even play the song, and I'm trying to develop a better way of singing and playing it, so the best way to do that is just play it.
Sure.
But I started going through some of these older things and doing that thing where you take something that exists in, for me, things that are 20 or 30 years old in some cases, you fall into this pattern of singing pretty much the same way.
Sure.
And then I put them on the shelf and forgot about them, and now I'm like, open your brain and try to reinterpret and just sort of sing this as if it was new again. And so I'm trying to do a little of that. And this is a song that I wrote when I was 26, and I just turned 56, so it's 30
Happy
years
birthday,
old.
by the way.
Thanks.
That's what I mean.
You
I
were
told you
here.
the day of.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, which thank you for that, by the way.
Everyone, it was his birthday like a week ago.
We had a big thing at the thing I called the stump stage here in the backyard. I built this stage last summer, and we have some things in the yard every now and again. We'll probably do at least one more thing over the summer, and then maybe a costume thing in the fall, right, like before Halloween-ish.
Solid. Yeah.
I wrote this and I was like in my late 20s and thinking about feeling like, or approaching my late 20s, 26, and thinking I'd feel like the same person I was when I was 16. Well, now I'm 56, and I feel like the same person I was when I was 26, except it hurts a lot more. But,
Sure.
But really, in my brain, I feel like I'm the same, but not. I don't know. So this is a song called "Still the Same." If I had the chance, I would not change a thing. So many times that question has been asked of me. So many promises that no one tried to keep. Now I'm left alone, my future's at my feet. I'm still the same inside. my confidence, it wavers every day. All my love for her will never run astray. So many promises I thought I'd always keep, no longer left alone, my future's at my feet. Still the same inside, still the same inside, still the same inside. Still I am that little kid out playing in the sand. I am still scared to death, but I'm doing the best I can. Which way the road will bend, no one can foresee. No longer left alone, my future's at my feet. Still the same inside, still the same inside, still the same inside. All right, that's usually when I'm by myself. I go.
That's what's up. No, I love your ability to paint a picture. That's
Thanks.
really cool. Yeah, and so you know, just all the mental imagery like throughout that were very special. In fact, I didn't want to say it before you played your song. I didn't want to influence you, but or I guess nudge you. But the song that you talked about, your mom saying, what is it? What it isn't what it is.
Oh.
That keeps reverb. I keep going back to that song.
Yeah.
Every like week or so.
Never is what it is.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful. And you just kind of took that phrase and turned it into something, and like it kind of touches people.
I
It's very
appreciate
cool.
that was and I can't even have to play it to even remember the phrase. It came from going to see Aaron Kelly and Demi play at the what's called the Haiku Milieu, and it's Jenny Bieneman is an artist from the Chicago area that started a project a number of years ago where every week she would write a haiku, and if I understand the story correctly, and she's a musician, songwriter, and posting them, and then a number of her friends would took these haikus and wrote songs from them and said, "Hey, I wrote a song from one of your haikus."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And she was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I guess again, if I understand the story right, a number of years ago they got together one night at some small club and they all played the songs that they wrote
based on
on her thing, and
Yeah.
they had a laugh and too much to drink and blah blah blah. And fast forward however many years, they sell out Fitzgerald's 3 times a year doing that.
Really?
So it's like
That's
it
cool.
became a thing.
Yeah.
And when I went to see Aaron, I didn't know that's what I was going to see. I thought it was I bought a reserved seat ticket to this thing that was, I think it was free, but you just had to reserve a seat. And I never had seen, at that point, I had never seen Aaron's band.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Aaron's band, I just didn't read it carefully. And it was like Aaron's band playing Fitzgerald. I'm getting one of those tickets, click, and I show up and I'm like, this is not what I thought this was. And then I sat there and was blown away by all of these people in this whole night, and it was deep, and it encouraged me to follow her on Instagram, and then I read her haikus every Sunday, and then many of them were very specific or very obvious or very uplifting in a very obvious or specific way. And the one that I wrote this song about was something that I didn't get. Is like I read it and I'm like, I don't even know what that means really. I'm not sure if I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, but that was the one that stuck with me, and I couldn't get a shake out of my head.
Yeah.
And then that just sort of reminded me of my mom, and that was what you were referring to. And it never is what it is. What is it?
I'm going to change my second song.
I can't remember. I have to look it up. I can't remember unless I'm singing it. That's the funny thing. Do you have that problem? You can't remember something unless it's in context?
No.
No, you're just an idiot. Mike. I love how you do that. You do that thing where you make people feel silly. That's wonderful. You do that really well.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
You know, if you're good at something.
So let's see. I asked your what would be. I asked you what you would eat. What is your favorite color? What is the Some of these questions don't apply. Like I sometimes ask, what is your first record you bought, or because you explaining your life, your childhood in the church, or whatever. Some of these don't apply. Or what was your first concert?
DC Talk.
I don't know what that is.
It's a band.
Is
it's
it?
a Christian band. It's a Christian.
Is it
rock
okay?
band.
I didn't know if
the kids that were kind of on the cusp of like.
They were the bad,
somewhat bad kids.
Right,
like
they were
the good kids with an edge.
right?
And
Right.
so that was the first.
Is that really a thing? Good kids with an edge. That's awesome.
Next week we'll spend an hour on that.
That's funny. But that's good for you. You know,
Yeah.
you were rebelling within the context of what you were doing.
Yeah, in fact, my dad took me to a show because my mom
Didn't approve.
to show me that they weren't like it wasn't good, it wasn't worship, and so like we were there, and it worked out. My dad was up there like, you know, I'm like, well, I mean, it's fun, you know, and so that was one of the first times where I stepped outside of the lines of just doing music, you know, Amazing Grace and the worship
Standard. Standard things that you were taught, and it felt well. Okay, so I guess the question applied in a good way. So, if
Sorry, Uncle Steve, that my mom broke your tape that you gave me free at last by DC Talk. I think I still owe you. I was like 14 and I got my tape broken.
So let's see. Do you have a second song? You said I heard you say you're calling an audible on the second song you plan to play.
Yeah. I have two of them. There's You're Enough, which is one that I wanted to. Again, if something were to ever happen to me, like what would I want someone to tell my kids? A random person or influence in their life or whatever. Let me see if there's a. Okay, but this one is more about. Let's see here. This one's about, you were talking about a phrase that gets stuck in your head, and you can't shake it, right? This one I was in the mirror looking at myself, which is actually what I do most of the time. No, and I was looking to see, I'm like, hey, do I have crow's feet? Do I have worry lines, right? And so then I thought, how ironic that me worrying about the worry lines is what causes that, right? Like, so
right.
A lot of times we kind of create those things that we're terrified of.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes. And so that I had that line, and I wrote it down. Didn't do anything for like 8 months with it. I visited it every once in a while, and then I kind of just one day it clicked on like what it could be, and this came out, and I had the privilege of, so whenever I backed away from the church that I was involved in for my whole life, it was a really dark space, right? Because the culture is like, we are very much this thing, and then there are the others. And I know they don't mean it to be that way, but like I get it. I was on the inside too, and so I became a lot more like the people who just cared. It meant so much more. Period. Whether they were wherever they were, and so this one called Worry Lines. I kind of tethered a message in there for like all the people that I had known for 6 months or a year or 20 years or 30 years, that through whatever vein, Joey Roth is one of my best friends. He's been, in Southern Illinois, we have birthdays like 7 days apart. And for I'm 41, so 36 years, 34 years, we've been just friends, right? And then my cousins, there are several of them that also kind of pulled away and maybe were ostracized to whatever degree, and I realized like that the friendship and the love, that's it. Like that's it for me. That's the thing. You know, whatever you believe, here, there, all that. If you love me, like I'm there. Like listen, you know, I got you. And so I had the distinct privilege of I had a show in Rockford right after I wrote this song, and so a couple of my cousins and friends were there, and I got to sing this to them, for them. And so it's called Worry Lines, and it's basically kind of almost like if I've ever told you I love you, I still love you, you know. And
Yeah.
So it's this one called Worry Lines, and I might mess up the picking. I've been worrying about these worry lines and how one day I'll just leave. The things that worry me the most when I'm standing looking close is how I am perceived. 'Cause when it's over, it's all over. But love is not. Love is not. I've been thinking about all the friends that I should call just to say hello. I never do, but I just might, even if I don't get it right. I hope they always know we did it together. My love is forever, and I'll carry it on. I'll carry it home. I've been smiling now and then as lines etch deeper on my skin, and I believe I know that these weren't worry lines on me, just a way for us to see how much time has watched us grow. And when I'm older and I'm crossing over, I will hold you closer and love you over with everything I've got. You're all I got. It's all we got. It's all we got. That's Worry Lines.
Pretty awesome, man.
Thank you.
That was a beautiful song. Absolutely beautiful. I think that I think you got some things in the right perspective, man. And I know that the choices that you've talked about having to make, nobody comes by those kinds of choices easily. And
That's therapy.
and to be able to look into the depth of that stuff and make the choices that you've made, I applaud you. That's, again, there's a friend of mine that I worked with for a number of years late in my career as an electrician, and we became very close. He was his entire childhood and his entire life up to very very similar story to what you've described, and I know that when you work with somebody 8 hours a day for a couple of years, you talk about your entire lives, good or bad, and I know in great detail some of the struggles that he went through. So I give you a hell of a lot of credit, because what brought you to that position couldn't possibly have been easy, and but it certainly had to be for a damn good reason, and God bless you for it. So I know this. I know that you're a hell of a good songwriter and a really, really kind person. And
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Well, I think you're achieving it because there's a number of things that have happened in the short time that I've known you that a number of people would not have continued to be as kind to me as you have been. So I know for sure that you are a kind person, and the byproduct of that is with that kind of empathy and depth of feeling, you also have the gift of being able to convey it, and because that's a beautiful piece of work. So
that's why actually when I deliberately didn't think about what to do or what to say or what to talk about here, because I wanted it to kind of be this, right?
Right.
But when I realized that, okay, wait, my whole purpose for doing it was just having things that my kids can hold on to, and having people that maybe not just my kids, but somebody might resonate with some of it, right?
Yeah.
That matters to me, and so I'm like, well, it's going to be recorded, it's going to be on the internet, let's do it,
Yeah.
because I haven't hit the studio or anything yet. Like, I've got all these songs, and it's just me in the basement.
That's great. I think you already actually. The last question I usually ask is, "What is your why?" And we've already actually covered that without even having to ask the question. And
that's why I did it.
And clearly,
so I could have time for another song.
You got to play something else?
No, I'm good.
Because you certainly can. Because as I told you before we got started, even if we're a couple minutes late or something isn't going right, there's no. It's not like network television. There's no real rules.
I haven't cried enough. Let's go. Let's do it.
If you have something else you want to play, why don't you play one more, and then we'll go with whatever gigs we got coming up, and we'll do Dumb Joke of the Day after that. So okay. We'll end on a funny note, but if you got something else, feel free, because I think that the people would love to hear you do another one.
So this one will take a small. No, it's not. I'm just gonna go into it. By the way, anybody watching, live or not, I love you. Just in case you need to hear it. You're enough to live and die for, enough for me to try for, enough to make me wanna live again. Enough, so hold your head up high. Know that you're the reason why. Even when the clouds come rolling in, and you don't feel like you could ever win, you're enough. You're enough. Make this world a better place. You might not see it now. You've got everything that it takes. Might be terrified, but you'll make it right on through. 'Cause This one thing I tell you is the truth. You're enough. You're enough. You've been through enough to break a heart in two. You tried so much, thought what's the use? Been locked in your cage for far too long. Your head says try just one more time. Your heart hurts from after all this trying. You don't think that there's a place you belong. There it is. Well, I love you and I'm saying that you're wrong. You're enough. You're enough. You're enough to make this world a better place. You might not see it now, but you got everything that it takes. Might be terrified, but you'll make it right on through. This one thing I'm telling you the truth. You're enough. Yeah, you're enough.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I found the reverb.
Hey.
All of a sudden I was like, hey. For
We
those
gotta start it over.
let's scrap the whole thing. But
Thank you, Mary. I love you.
the technical people keeping up with the technical BS that I've gone through, I have a completely separate mixer for just the broadcast now. And halfway through this, I was like, wait, there it is. I'm going to bring it up slowly and see if it... It's coming. There it is.
Yeah,
And
no,
there was a point in the middle. I was like, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, I was like, who's that guy?
I wish I
By the
found
way,
that earlier.
I'm sure someone has said this, and I'm sure several people have said this, and I'm sorry for not catching it in those instances. But thank you very much for like what you do is really cool. Like you take time out of your schedule to promote somebody and to kind of like let them have a voice and just to kind of sit in the music, and that's so beautiful. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's thank you. I genuinely appreciate it, and it. You were talking earlier. You used the word organically, and it just has evolved organically.
I can't believe you charge like $300 for us to be on here, but
Well,
like
it
nothing's
should be
free.
more. But if you knew how much it took to do all this.
By the way, he's not letting me leave until I pay. So like, I'm in his basement, ma'am, sir, please.
The door is locked from the inside, and there's no key.
But no, honestly, this is really cool, and I've tuned in, to several, and it's always cool because everyone's got a different story, everyone's got a different tone, everyone's got a different like reason why, and so it's cool.
Thanks.
It's very cool.
People have been saying nice things recently, and it's greatly appreciated. And it really truly started a year and a half ago as a lost soul with no place to play. One of my weak personality weak suits is chasing down gigs and finding places to play or opportunities to put my music in front of people. And I just figured out a way, without really even understanding how to do it, just willed my way into creating this silly channel with tying my soundboard, and I can record music but video stuff, and then trying to figure it just step by step is just creating a place to play some songs. And it just started out as what I called the stream to no one, because no one actually watched for many weeks, and then family members and a few people, and then I'd invite some friends over to play, and you get a few people here or there, and then when I actually started talking to people about songwriting and making that the focus is when it started to sort of have this. It was the thing where you go, oh wait, no, this is the thing that like where this is the very natural like growth of something that you can just feel like, oh, this is the right thing to do. Like this is really enjoyable and just feels very natural. Like this is the all of a sudden the curtain peels back and this is the the way to go. And,
Yeah.
So I appreciate you saying that a great deal. So, but also the in the same way that the album side of the week showed up very organically. The dumb joke of the day.
Is there a mailman around? Where's Mr. Kelly?
Aaron Kelly, our mailman, he delivered. And last week, I didn't have a guest, so
This is us mail.
I went old school and I just did my own show, and I forgot.
There's a lot of letters in there.
There is.
Are a lot of letters in there.
This one came from Anita Bath. She sends a lot. Anita Bath sends a lot of mail. But I'm going to have to get one of those Ring cameras because I really want to see, like I just envision, the mailman with his earbuds in, so listening to John Prine putting something in or whatever. So this one, this was, this one, this dumb joke of the day.
You're gonna get canceled?
No. This dumb joke of the day is this reminds me was a reminder of when did I ever tell you about the time when I was a child? You know what a mime is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You like the mimes that did. Did I ever tell you when I was a child I was kidnapped by a group of mimes?
No.
I was. The things they did to me were unspeakable.
Love it.
I can't even really talk.
Wait,
about
is that this or is that remind you of that?
That's
the joke? Okay.
Hey.
Sorry, that one was funny.
The joke, see, that's the way that I'll take a joke and then I'll make it like the joke said a child was kidnapped by a group of mimes.
Things they did were
unspeakable. So
unbelievable.
I take it.
That's a Blue type joke.
Yes, that's ridiculous. I know. That's a Jackie type joke. So, anyways, that was a terrible joke, but I thought it was funny.
This is my favorite joke that I've heard tonight.
Okay, well, I'll take that. That's good enough for me. So, Tim, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank
you for being here. Like, it would have been really weird. Like, I don't know how to run any of this.
Right. That's a good one. That's a funny line right there.
See?
So, in the end, I don't know. As the great Ray Rayner used to say, bye, bye, bye. So,
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night, everybody. Later on.